Yo guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I will be showing you how to make custom spruce trees in Minecraft. Yes, it is a tutorial, but it's not a step-by-step. The reason for that is because the trees in real life aren't the same as well, so you wouldn't find two exactly the same trees. But first of all, I want to thank you all for all the new subscribers and the amazing comments you leave on the videos. But with no further ado, let's start with the video. So the first thing I do is make a tree trunk. Luckily for these kind of trees, it's really straightforward. Just make a slim and straight up line. This first one is gonna be a relatively small one, so I'm using fence for the trunk. As for the leaves, you can see that I'm doing it by hand, placing and replacing blocks until it's perfect for me. And from time to time I fly a bit back to see if what I made looks good. And if it doesn't look good, I'll just repeat the process. I thought it was a bit too tall, so I cut it. I used signs and fence gates as branches here. The next one will be a really small tree, like the ones you will use as a Christmas tree, for example. As you can see, I kept it really simple, so that it keeps the right shape. And now I'm gonna make a really large one. I'm gonna do the leaves layer for layer. And I know I want the shape in general to be a cone, but with a rounded off bottom. As you can see, between every layer I do a really small layer, so that it doesn't look like one solid cone. Again, I'm gonna say it's not about making an exact copy, but look how I randomize every layer. I extended the top a bit because it wasn't high enough, and added all the branches, again from fence gates and signs. Right now I'm gonna make a really high one, where the leaves don't start exactly at the bottom, but higher up. Like this, for example. Use the same tactic with the leaves, so a small layer, then a normal layer, then a small layer again. And just like the other tree, in the form of a cone. This one turned out pretty good in my opinion. I wish Mojang would replace the default trees one day, but that's not gonna happen, I think. Those chunky default trees are kinda what makes Minecraft Minecraft. And finally I added the branches, which make a massive difference. Alright, so for the variation I want to make trees that look a little bit different than the other batch. Instead of a rounded off bottom, I'm gonna make one that spreads out like a cone until it's almost hitting the ground. With this little one it's not really noticeable, but then the next one you will see. Again, adding some branches. Alright, this one is a little bit bigger. And as you can see, I start out really wide. Again, going layer for layer for the leaves. And I'm not doing the big layer, small layer trick I used earlier. And as you can see, that makes the whole tree different. The whole thing about making those trees is making them look random, but not too random. And yes, it does take practice, but not a lot. So I hope this tutorial will help you all with making trees. And for the next tree I'm gonna make a really big one. I'm again layering all the leaves one by one. I started with a really wide bottom, then made my way up, making every layer a bit smaller than the layer below. I made sure to add the branches while making the layers because I couldn't reach it afterwards. This tree is really dense, so there are not many holes to the trunk, or places where I could add branches afterwards. Maybe only on the top. And by the way, because I'm not using World Edit, you can also do this in survival. It will take long, but it's worth it. A few custom trees around your survival base will transform the whole look. If you want to make a forest, I suggest making like 10 different trees from one kind and then randomly placing those. So right here I made 7 ones, so I suggest making 70 trees. It sounds like a lot, but if you just randomize the same one a little bit in height and how it looks, your forest will look so much more natural. When I look back at this tree, I thought I was a little bit too tall, so I shortened it a bit, but you should be able to do this by hand. So here's a final overlook of all the trees we just made. I made all 7 in just 20 minutes, all by hand. So with a little bit practice you will be able to make trees as fast as that too. And finally a little cinematic with shaders, so you can see how it looks with him. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you made it this far, please consider subscribing, that would mean a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Laters!